Today is Friday, November 22nd, and I'm just wondering about two messes. First, the Dallas Cowboys, and a preview of their game against the Washington Commanders. And second, an even bigger mess that is college football these days.
And now, a word from our title sponsor.
Are all financial advisors fiduciaries? Fewer than you think. Not knowing could reduce your lifestyle. Hi, I'm Mitch Kramer, founder and CEO of Fluent Financial. A fiduciary is a regulatory term to reduce conflicts of interest in wealth management. A fiduciary always works in your best interest. A non-fiduciary advisor might put their compensation or company ahead of yours. At Fluent Financial, we are certified financial planners acting as fiduciary advisors. To learn more, go to fluentfinancial.com or Fluent Financial's YouTube channel.
For more than 3 decades, Bob's Steak and Chop House has remained an icon of DFW restaurants. Why? Well, maybe it's because of Bob. He's fanatical about cleanliness and friendliness, and his food, oh my Lord, his food. If you've been there, you know about it. If you haven't been there, you should know about it. The original Bob welcomes you at either of his 2 locations, Bob's on Lemon Avenue or the sparkling new Bob's at Craig Ranch, McKinney. Before we get to discussing Dallas versus Washington on Sunday from our nation's capital, this, I kid you not, note from the world of NFL TV. On Monday night, December 9th, the Cowboys are scheduled to play Cincinnati on Monday Night Football. But with Cincinnati off to a slow start this season and Dallas stinking like Thursday's fish, the people with ESPN would like to flex that game. Now, they have the right to flex games. That is, say, if they give the teams enough notice, hey, we don't want you on Monday Night Football. You go back to Sunday, and we'll put another game on Monday Night Football. Well, good idea. But it can't happen. And here's why it can't happen. Monday night's game of Dallas versus Cincinnati is a Simpsons-themed alternate broadcast night. That's right, it's Simpsons Fun Day Football. Besides ESPN's regular broadcast, there will be on Disney Plus and ESPN Plus and NFL mobile viewers animated versions of the Bengals and the Cowboys playing at Springfield's Adams Stadium. And it all features characters from the popular Simpsons TV series. I wonder if the Cowboys can win Simpsons Fun Day Football. On to the Cowboys and Washington. It's almost inconceivable. You look at the NFL standings. Washington is 7-4 and headed for the playoffs after being 4-13 last season. Dallas is 3-7 and headed for the public toilet at a Greyhound bus station after being 12-5 last year. Can the answer to both these dramatic turnarounds be the name of one man, Dan Quinn? Well, last year's Dallas defensive coordinator has totally rejuvenized this Washington franchise, which last had a winning season in 2015. First, they had a great draft. Every week in, week out, they start either 4 or 5 rookies, led, of course, by the probable Rookie of the Year candidate, quarterback Jaden Daniels. And please remember, When it came Washington's turn to draft at number 2 in the NFL draft last year, most people thought Washington was going to take North Carolina quarterback Drake May. They didn't. They took Daniels. How's that working out for them? And then they had a lot of shrewd free agent signings in the offseason, including 4 former Dallas Cowboy players, including starting center Tyler Biadasz and starting defensive end Durance Armstrong, and the current Washington leader in sacks, defensive end Dante Fowler. Yes, the Washington D under Quinn has immediately gotten dramatically better. Last year they allowed 30 points per game. This year it's down to 22. And yes, last year's Dallas defense with Quinn allowed only 20 points a game. But it's now gushing 29 points a game. But the metamorphosis of the Commanders goes way beyond just Quinn's D. Offensively, they've jumped from 19 points a game to 28 points a game. Amazing what a star young quarterback will do, eh? And from turnovers, they've gone from the league's worst last year at minus 14 to the league's 7th best this year at plus 5. With meddlesome and irritating former owner Lil Danny Snyder out of the way, Washington has been totally redone under Quinn and GM Adam Peters. Meanwhile, Dallas is simply done, besides the Dallas defensive collapse. The offense in Dallas has gone from 30 points per game last year to a meager 19 this year. Last season, they were one of the league's best in turnovers at a plus 11. This year, they are next to last in the league in turnover ratio at minus 11. That's right, a 22 turnover turnaround from last year. If you're looking for a reason why Dallas has fallen apart, that's a pretty good one to start with. I don't need to tell you how bad Dallas is. You've seen that for yourself through 10 games. The Washington turnaround is amazing. Quinn is likely the NFL Coach of the Year. Peters likely the NFL General Manager of the Year. Daniels the Rookie of the Year. And right now with 7 wins and 2 games left with the sad sack Cowboys and games left with the Titans, Saints, and Falcons at home, Washington's probably going to win 11 or 12 games this year. From 4 wins last year to 11 or 12 this year. At least, it shows Dallas fans are already looking ahead to 2025. That with competent leadership and shrewd decision-making, a huge turnaround can happen. Does Dallas have that right now? Competent leadership and shrewd decision-making? Next, from the mess that is the Cowboys to the incredible sewer that college football is becoming.
Barry and I are Crest Cadillac people. For what, about 15 years now?
That's about right. Crest Cadillac XT4. Perfect size, perfect ride for us.
Crest Cadillac at 121 on the Tollway in Frisco now has terrific offers on the Cadillac LYRIQ and the soon-to-be-available all-electric Escalade. GM Mike Brusen's team is fantastic to work with. So join Mary and me as
Crest Cadillac people.
College football's insane and getting worse. The system is broken, and there's nobody left to fix it. First, some background. The transfer portal. 6 years ago in October, a law changed that allowed people, athletes, to transfer from one school to another without having to sit out a year, and they can transfer any number of times. There are some football players in America that are now on their third and fourth schools of their college career. Then came the NIL, name, image, likeness. It came in July of 2021. It allows college athletes to profit while in college from their fame. And there's no cap on how much they can profit. Not that there should be, by the way. Now, the NCAA has virtually no control of these situations. Athletes, some of them, a few, are now making $2 million plus a year while being in school as an amateur athlete. As you can imagine, given the lust of boosters for championships and maybe ways to stretch the rules, the sport of college football is now in a jumble. And behind the scenes deals are everywhere. In college football every year, they've instituted this early signing period. It's December 4th this year. It allows athletes who are sure of where they want to go to school and take a scholarship the next year to sign. But athletes commit. And then the phone rings. And the school can offer more money. And they decommit. And they commit to the new school. And then they decommit because somebody comes in with more money. While that's happening, kids are getting NIL deals you wouldn't believe. Deals in the millions. And it's all legal. It's all legal under the rules. And, for instance, School A is certain a kid wants to come to their school to play. He's committed to them. Suddenly, School B pops up, and they offer a better deal. So, School A then goes out and searches for somebody they can swipe from somebody else's commitment list. Okay. But while all that's happening, and it's happening, you'll see almost daily notes of players decommitting and recommitting or whatever. But then on December 9th, just 5 days after this national letter of intent signing period begins, the transfer portal opens and players can put their name in the portal to potentially transfer to another school. Yes, the transfer portal opens while the season has not been completed. I'm serious. There are around 80 teams that are going to play in bowls this year. But when the transfer portal opens, loads of players on those teams are going to put their names in the transfer portal to potentially go someplace else. Think of it this way. Think it's the NFL. They have a 17-game schedule. What if after 15 games, players were allowed to enter their names in the transfer portal? Good heavens. What that would do to locker rooms. And if you're the coach, what do you do? In the bowl game, do you play players who've put their names in the transfer portal? I don't know. That's up to the coach. But what this creates is chaos. Last year in college football, nearly 4,000 players put their names in the transfer portal. Where did they go? Well, very many of them took the best offer to go someplace else. Now, take this example. Let's say a big school with big money boosters. You know who you are out there. You need a quarterback. You got a really good team, but you need a quarterback. Well, as soon as the transfer portal opens, you start searching for quarterbacks, for good ones. And you're saying, now, why would a good one want to leave? Money. It's about money. They can leave one pretty darn good school and go to a really darn good school and get $1 million or more for 1 year. It's crazy. Now, does it happen? In this past year's Heisman Trophy voting that goes to the best player in college football, the top 3 voters, vote getters, were all transfer quarterbacks. LSU's Jaden Daniels, Washington's Michael Penix, and Oregon's Bo Nix. The Heisman Trophy winner the year before, that would be transfer USC quarterback Caleb Williams. Hey, it's insanity. And there's no one to oversee it. No one to create rules, boundaries. The NCAA is a toothless tiger. And now in America, we have 2 pro football leagues, the NFL and today's college football.
Today's episode brought to you by Fluent Financial, Retire Sooner, Better Lifestyle, and by Crest Cars. There's good, there's better, and then there's Crest. And by Bob's Steak and Chop House.
Thanks for listening to today's episode of Just Wondering with Norm Hitzges. If you enjoyed what you heard, please hit follow, and a fresh new episode will be delivered to you every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And if you know someone who might enjoy our work, please share it with them. I'm Norm Hitzges, and I'm always just wondering about something.
And I'm Mary Hitchkus, and I'm just wondering too.